be the tutorial that's going to show you how to make this thick mesh rounded slouch hat. I already have a video for thick mesh slouch hat, but this is just going to be the rounder version of it. It has kind of a detail on the end like this. It's kind of bunched up. And I really hope that you guys like it, because I know that you guys have told me that you like this style better than the other style. So let me tell you what you need and let's get started. And then for this tutorial, you're going to need 2 different colors. One is going to be for the rim of the hat. I prefer to have the darker color be the color of the rim, but it doesn't really matter. Choose a color for your rim and choose a color for your hat. But whatever color that you choose, you're going to need 2 skeins of, because this is a yarn eater. It takes a lot. It's just going to be a thick hat. So you're probably going to need a total of 3 skeins, one for the border, and it's not even going to take a whole one. But you're definitely going to need 2 skeins of the same color that you're going to use for the actual color of the hat. You're also going to need a measuring tape, a tapestry needle to sew in the end of your hat, and you're going to need 2 size hooks. You're going to need a 5 millimeter or size H hook. You're also going to need a 6 millimeter or size J hook. And that's it. Get those items and let's get started. Okay, to begin, you want to start by using your 5 millimeter hook or H hook, and you want to chain 66. And this size will fit an adult female or adult male. You can adjust the size by adjusting it by an even number. So whatever you decide, whoever you're making it for, just make sure you end on an even number. For the purposes of this tutorial, I'm just going to make a small little swatch, but go ahead and you chain 66. And then when you're ready, you want to slip stitch into the first stitch. To form a ring. And then you want to chain 2, and this will count as your first stitch. So working in the next stitch, you're going to do a double crochet, and I'm going under 2 out of the 3 stitches. Each chain has, 1, 2, and 3. I'm going through both, not just one but both of the loops. So continue to double crochet all the way around your chain. So continue to do that, and I will see you back in a moment. Okay, I've just come to the end of round 1, and you want to slip stitch in the top of the beginning chain 2 to end the round. Then again, you want to chain 2. Now for round 2, we're going to be alternating with front post double crochet and then back post double crochet. You want to start with a front post double crochet, because this chain at the end of the row will become a back post, and you'll see as you go along. So you want to start with a front post double crochet, and how you do that is you yarn over, you go and you grab the post, and then you double crochet using the post. Then yarn over, and to do a back post, you want to go in through the back, push that double crochet back, and double crochet on the post. Again, when you want to do a front post, pull forward and do a double crochet. And then the back post, go in between the stitches, push that post back, and do a double crochet on the post. You're going to be alternating front post double crochet and then a back post double crochet. And you'll repeat this all the way around, and this beginning chain is considered a back post. So the stitch right before the chain should be a front post, and then you slip stitch right on the top of the chain 2. But I'll show you that when we get there. So just go ahead and do alternating your front post and back post. for round 2, and I'll show you what to do next. Okay, like I said, front post in the very last stitch of the round, and then you have your chain 2 at the beginning. Again, you'll slip stitch in the top of the chain 2, and that will end round 2. And you want to chain 2 again, and then you'll repeat exactly what you did last round, which is the very next stitch you'll do a front post, and then the very next stitch after that you'll do a back post, and you'll continue the exact same thing you did for row 2 for this next row 3, and then you'll do 2 more rows for a total of 5 rows. The first row, of course, is just double crochet, and then the next row 2, is when you start the front post, back post. So you're going to actually only be doing 4 rows of the front post, back post, but the first row where you did the double crochet does count as 1 row. So you should have a total of 5 rows, and you can count here if you're used to looking at the stitches here. You can count the place where it grabs the double crochet here. You can go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. Count the 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Actually, there are only 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 5 rows, but there should only be 4 connections here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, 4. So like I said, you'll have 4 rows like that, but the first row is double crochet. You'll have a total of 5 rows that will make up your rim. And then I'll show you what to do to get started on your actual hat. I finished my row 3. Like I said, you have to do 5. I'm slip stitching in the beginning of my chain 2. So just pretend I just did all my 5 rows and I'm ready to start my hat. So what you do now is you want to change your hook size from 5mm hook you were using to your size 6mm hook, size J for the US, and you just want to put it into that loop. Now this is where also you want to change your color, at least I do for my hats usually. And all you have to do is I usually cut a little bit, leaving me a little bit of tail that I can later work into my project with my tapestry needle. And then I will get my new color and then just put it through the loop. Leave yourself a bit of tail also to be worked in later. Pull it through that loop, and then just grab the original color, just pull it tight, and then now this is your new color. So with your new color, you want to chain 2, actually chain 3, sorry. The chain 2 part will be your double crochet, and then your extra chain here, which makes it a chain 3, will be the chain 1 that you'll have in between all your stitches this row. So you begin by chaining 3, and then you want to skip the first stitch, and then the next stitch you want to put a double crochet, and then again chain 1 like I said. This is why you have the extra chain here. See, you have your 2 for your double crochet, and then your extra chain, because you always chain 1 after a double crochet, and you will always skip a stitch. So you skip a stitch, and then the next one, do a double crochet and chain 1. Skip a stitch, and then the next stitch, double crochet and chain 1. You'll continue this all the way around. When you get to the beginning, you should have 1 stitch here left to skip. And the very last double crochet of the row, there's no need to do a chain 1 after. Just do your double crochet, and then you'll skip 1 as usual, and then you'll find the chain, the second chain of the chain 3, so count 1, 2, and in the middle chain here, you'll do a slip stitch. And by doing the slip stitch, that's going to count as your chain 1. So remember, never chain 1 after the last double crochet of the round. Then you'll want to chain 1, and then now you're going to go in, you're going to back up. Usually we go this direction. Now we're going to go 1 stitch back in this middle stitch that we skipped in our skip stitch, and you'll put a double crochet in there. You only go backwards in the first stitch of the row round. God, I can't get row out of my mind. So always in the very first stitch of the round, you'll go back one. Then you do your double crochet, chain one, and then now you're moving forward again, working in the skipped stitches from last round. You'll put a double crochet, chain one, find the next skip stitch from last round, put a double crochet, then chain one. So you're doing exactly what you did last round, you're just using these skipped stitches. So keep doing your double crochet, chain one, using those skip stitches from last round, and I'll see you back here in a moment. I went all the way around again, and remember the very last double crochet, no need to chain one. This is my very beginning double crochet. You're going to be going into the top stitch of the double crochet and slip stitching. And then again, chain one, and now we're going to be working backwards again for the first stitch. Now we have 2 rows with our color now. The first row is here, and then the second one is here, the one we just got done doing. So we have 2 spaces, 1 space here and 1 space here. And you can see it's kind of diagonal going here, stitch here, stitch here. So what we're going to be doing is going in through this space between our 2 stitches. This is the double crochet from the very first row, and then this is the double crochet from last round where we actually came down and worked into the skip stitches, and in between there's a space. So you can yarn over and then go into that space. Do a double crochet and chain one, and then again you can find it by pushing it with your finger. It's probably easier to find it because you're looking for the 2 rows down. So you'll always have this one, this line, and this line. See, always count the lines, 1 and then 2, and then there's always a small space under the second one. And that's where you want to put your stitch. Let me see if I get a little closer for the next one, just so maybe you can see a little easier. See, you can see this was our double crochet from last round. It's kind of longer, and then this is the first round of double crochets. Kind of got squished a little bit when we did our double crochets working in the skip stitches. So I'm going to call the squished one the smaller one. Now next to the smaller one there's always a stitch beside it, see? And you know you're 2 rows down because you can count this 1 and then 2. Then you just go next to the small one and you'll do a double crochet and chain one in that space. So just yarn over, and I use my fingers often, so feel free. And see, now you've grabbed those 2 and you put them together, and that's what you double crochet over. You're basically grabbing these 2 to double crochet over, making it much thicker. I'm not going to show you that again. Yarn over, find the next small space here in the first row, and do your double crochet and chain one. And you just want to continue to do this all the way around, and I'll see you when you get back up to the beginning. Come back up to my beginning again. No need to chain after your last double crochet of the round. Just slip stitch right into this beginning. Then again chain 1, and then again you're going to be working 2 rows down, so you can use your finger here, find the 1 and the 2, and you'll yarn over and you'll do a double crochet and chain 1 in that spot. Then yarn over again. Now you're working this direction. Again you're finding your 1 2, and then the space underneath this one, you'll do a double crochet and chain 1. Find the next space, 1, 2, next to the smaller one, next to the one down below, chain 1. Let me get a little closer, show you one more time here. Yarn over, find your 1, and then your second one here, the smaller one here, you'll put your double crochet and chain 1. You'll be continuing this pattern over and over and over again. And just keep repeating this over and over again. Remember, when you get to the end here, don't put a stitch in the same beginning stitch here. Always stop ahead, which is here, and then don't chain 1 and slip stitch here, and then you'll be backing up and working in this stitch. It's very important, because if you put another double crochet here, you're gonna miss the end of the round, and you're just gonna start at one continuous round, and it's going to be kind of off flat at the top. So anyway, I want you to continue to do this until your hat reaches 25 centimeters or 10 inches thereabouts. Let me just back up, I mean. I got my little measuring tape here, and I want you to measure from the end, the very beginning of the hat, where the rim is, all the way to the end. And mine is 25 centimeters, which is almost 10 inches, or maybe a little over 10 inches, around 10 inches. It's good. And once you get to there, I'll show you how to finish your hat. When you've got your hat to be 25 centimeters or 10 inches, and you're ready to finish your hat, what you want to do is chain 1 and go back into this, back up one stitch like you always do, but instead of doing a double crochet, you want to do a single crochet. So you'll go into that stitch, do a single crochet and chain 1. Then you'll find your next stitch that you usually do a double crochet in, but instead do a single crochet and chain 1. So basically for this row, the way we flatten out our top to where there's no spaces is in each place where you would normally do a double crochet and chain 1, you'll do a single crochet and chain 1. And as you can see, it's kind of flattening off the top. So just continue this all the way around, and when you get back up to the beginning, I'll show you what you need to do next. I got to the end of my round. Again, you don't want to chain 1 after the single crochet. You just want to slip stitch right into that beginning single crochet. Now I want you to switch back to your 5mm hook or size H hook. Chain 1. And now we're going to be doing 1 single crochet in each stitch around. So just continue to put 1 single crochet in each stitch around. I will see you back here in a moment. Okay, when you get to the end of the row, slip stitch in the beginning stitch and chain 1. Now we're going to be decreasing in every stitch. So you grab up the first stitch, go into the next stitch and grab up a loop, 3 loops on the hook, yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. Then you go into your next stitch, pull up a loop, and then the next stitch, pull up a loop, 3 loops on the hook, pull through all 3 loops. Go into the next stitch, pull up a loop, go into the next stitch, pull up a loop, 3 loops on your hook, pull through all 3 loops. You continue to do this all the way around. Okay, when you get to the end of the row, go ahead and slip stitch in your beginning stitch and chain 1. Now for the next 2 rows, I want you to just do 1 single crochet in each stitch around. So go ahead and do that for the next 2 rows, this one and 1 more. 1 single crochet in each stitch around. When you get to the end of the row, you want to go ahead and slip stitch in the beginning stitch, then chain 1. And this is where I want to cut my yarn. So So leaving yourself a long tail, enough to sew with. I probably gave myself much longer than I need, because you only need, you know, half of this, really. Get your tapestry needle, thread it through, and now I usually just put my hand through, grab my tapestry needle, pull it through, and make the hat inside out. Okay, find my end here, which is here. So, working my way around now, going into the next stitch, weaving it back and forth through the stitches. Once you've got a few, then you can pull. I'm going to do the same thing, going in, out one, going in, out the next, weaving back and forth. And you want to continue to do this all the way around till you make it back up to your beginning part here. Okay, I got back up to the beginning again. Now you just want to pull it tight, and then now you want to work putting your hook, your needle on this side of the hole. So just find a good place to pull it through, and I pull it. See, there's a loop here. Then I'm going to put my needle through that loop and pull tighter. Then again, I'm going to go in from the opposite sides of my hole now, grabbing some yarn on this side of the loop. Going through my loop again, pull it, and then making sure all of it's good and tight. I'm going to go to the opposite side now, and I'm going to pull it until I have a loop, but this time I'm going to use it as a tie. I'm just going to tie a couple of knots in there. Then I usually take my loop and I just twist it, put my needle through the end, then just feed it down the stitches a bit, not too much, and then pull it. Make sure that nothing's being pulled. Cut your yarn. You can turn your hat inside out. Oh, there you go. That's what the back looks like. And this hat is going to be very warm. So if you're looking for a warm hat, this is it. I'm going to go ahead and put up the link to other tutorials that I have using this thick mesh stitch. But it was a while before I learned how to begin the row. So like I showed you here, when you begin a row, you slip stitch and then you go back one and do your double crochet before you go forward. So keep this in mind when you're doing the older videos. Do it the way I show you how to do it here. That way everything will be right and even and everything. And then you go and make whatever you want out of the thick mesh stitch. Just keep in mind this is a diagonal stitch, so making a scarf or something out of it would be really difficult, but I'm sure you could figure out a way to do it. So that's it. This has been the tutorial that shows you how to make the slouchy thick mesh hat. I do have a slouch hat using this stitch already, but it's one of the first tutorials I ever made, so this is kind of an updated, more roundish slouchy version. So I hope that you like this tutorial, and if you do, please don't forget to click like, and please don't forget to share. Thank you so much for watching.